I want to go back to the end of his life first and break down what really happened to Mike. We'll begin with a speech that he gave in London, where he deals with the music industry and his record label.
You know, let me just say this. The tradition of great performers from, and I really want you to hear what I have to say. The tradition of great performers from Sammy Davis Jr. to James Brown to Jackie Wilson. The story is usually the same though, you know. These guys work really hard at their craft, but the story ends the same. They usually are broken, torn, and usually just sad, and the story is very sad in the end, because the companies take advantage of them. They really do. And, you know, being the artist that I am, at Sony, I've generated several $1 billion for Sony. Several billion. And they really thought that my mind is always on music and dancing, and it usually is, but they never thought that this performer, myself, would outthink them.
Yeah!
So we can't let them get away with what they're trying to do, because now I'm a free agent.
Yeah.
I just owe Sony one more album. It's just a box set, really. I can do the box set and just give them any 2 songs. So I'm leaving Sony a free agent, owning half of Sony. So I own half of Sony's publishing, and I'm leaving them, and they're very angry at me because of it. But I just did good business, you know. So the way they get revenge is to try and destroy my album.
Okay, let me explain this. Basically, what Mike is saying is this. Under his contract, he only had to do one more album, and then he would be out of his contract with Sony, and he was going to leave Sony owning half the company. Now, Sony didn't like that, so when he made his album called Invincible, Sony didn't promote it, and they did everything they could do to make sure it didn't sell, as a way to get back at Mike for wanting to leave. Now, you got to understand, Michael Jackson had a 30-year relationship with Sony. He made them a lot of money. He said, I generated several $1 billion. So Sony wasn't going to let Mike just walk away scot-free. They had to do something. All right, let's go back to the speech.
Thank you. I love Unbreakable. You know, and Tommy Mottola is a devil.
See, during the end of his life, Michael Jackson started to speak out against the things that was going on in the music industry. But it was much more than him just trying to get out of a record contract. Mike was involved in something much bigger than that, and he was frustrated with the situation he was in. So out of frustration, he called Tommy Mottola a devil.
And Tommy Mottola is a devil.
Now, Tommy Mottola was the head of Sony Music at that time. And Michael Jackson and Tommy Mottola didn't get along at all, because Mike knew that he was only being used by Tommy Mottola. Mike was tired of being a slave, and he wanted his freedom. Now, Michael's father, Joe Jackson, got Michael and his brothers into the music industry when they were young kids. But Michael was always the standout star, so the Illuminati came after him. They knew he would be the one to bring in the big money. So they told little Mike everything he wanted to hear, and they promised him the whole world. All he had to do to get it was sign his life away and sell his soul to the devil. See, in order to reach superstardom on this earth, you gotta sell out. Why? Because the scriptures tell you that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. That's why the Bible says, love not the world, neither the things in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Now, why does it say that? Because the people who rule this world are wicked. And if you want to live like they live, you have to become wicked and do what they tell you to do. This is nothing new. Satan tried to use this same trick on Christ. Let's read it. That's Matthew 4, 8 and 9. Verse 8. Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. See, that's what the music industry is all about. They offer you the good life, fame, fortune, and everything you desire, but in return, you gotta sell them your soul. This is not make-believe. This stuff is really happening in the music industry. These people are Satan worshipers. They are directly connected to the devil, and by selling out to them, you automatically sell out to the devil. And that's why Michael Jackson called Tommy Mottola a devil.
And Tommy Mottola is a devil.
See, Michael Jackson grew up in the music industry, and he knew what it was all about. He sold his soul to the devil a long time ago. Now, most people will look at this picture and see a young boy making the OK sign with his hand. But this is not the OK sign. This is a satanic hand symbol that represents 666, the seal of Satan. The circle in the first finger is 1-6. The circle in the second finger is another 6. The circle in the last finger is another 6. So when you put them all together, you get 666. Like I said, Michael Jackson grew up in the music industry. He's been involved with the Illuminati since he was young. Now, if you don't believe this hand sign means anything, take a look at these other celebrities and see what they're doing in these pictures. Here you see Beyonce, a top-level witch, and we're going to deal with her next. But here you see Beyonce flashing the 666. Here's Drake, 666 over one eye. Neo, 666. Shakira, 666. Justin Timberlake, 666 over one eye. T-Pain, 666. Lil Wayne, 666 over one eye. Now look at this next one. This is Lady Gaga. Look at her right hand. 666. Cash rules everything. All they think about is making money. These so-called celebrities are willing to do anything to be rich. Let's see what the scriptures say about that. Mark 8 and 36. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? And that's what they do. They sell their soul to gain the world.
So I'm leaving Sony a free agent, owning half of Sony.
Michael Jackson was murdered. That claim comes from his sister LaToya, seen here waving to fans from a car in Los Angeles. She says the King of Pop was effectively killed for his money. In interviews with Sunday newspapers, she says she believes her brother was surrounded by a manipulative entourage who fed him drugs and saw him as a cash cow. This so-called bad circle is said to have forced him to sign up for 50 concerts at London's O2 Arena, when in fact he only wanted to do 10. LaToya's also spoken of the moment when she found out about Michael Jackson's death. She was told to get to the UCLA Medical Center, but before she could, her mother was on the phone screaming, "He's dead."
Michael Jackson was murdered because he was no longer cooperating with the system. Now, the Illuminati knew that Michael Jackson was the cash cow of the family. So they came to the Jackson family and made them an offer they couldn't refuse. They took the offer. The Jackson family, with the exception of Michael's mother and his sister LaToya, sacrificed Michael Jackson's life to Baphomet as a way to keep the money coming in. After all, Michael was worth more dead than he was alive. Now this demon on the screen is named Baphomet. He's the demon that these celebrities pray to and seek power from. He's the demon that's set up over the music industry. Celebrities actually do human sacrifices to this demon for power, fame, and riches. Now, if you don't believe what I'm saying, in your free time, get on the internet and do some research into the Illuminati and the death of Aaliyah, Kanye West's mother, Jennifer Hudson's family, Michael Jackson, and many, many others. All these people were sacrificed to Baphomet to further the career of other entertainers.
Of every race, every culture, every ethnic group, every tribe. There was nothing that Michael hadn't touched, and now he's becoming dangerous. Dangerous. Didn't he write some song called Dangerous? He was telling us he had become dangerous. Dangerous to who? To those who want to keep you ignorant of who you are so they can continue to use us as tools and slaves. It's not about hate. This is not about anti-Semitism. It's about showing who is anti-black. I didn't know what was in Michael's heart, but I told Michael, don't be angry with your father, because even though you didn't have pillow fights and sleepovers, those that had pillow fights and sleepovers and had a childhood, they're the ones that's buying your records, and they're the ones that's coming to see you. You had a purpose for your life. Michael Jackson, also a king, being crucified, the so-called king of pop. I see Michael much deeper than those who have talked about him. I want to talk to you today about the method that the enemy of God and the enemy of the rise of humanity is using, has used, and plans to use again to destroy leadership that will cause, first of all, black people to rise, second of all, humanity to rise. You may say, rise from what? If the scripture says that Satan deceived the whole world, are we in the world? Could it be that we too have been deceived? Well, what would the greatest deception be? It would be to deceive humanity about the one that is coming to end Satan's world. I'm going to say it again. The greatest deception would be to deceive humanity about that one that is prophesied to come to end Satan's world and bring in a kingdom wherein all human beings can find peace and security and justice. Such is the Messiah.